But it's amazing others will psychoanalyze every word that somebody says in, for instance, yesterday's Jimbo's press conference and come up with reasons to believe or not believe someone. I think it was clear yesterday that Jimbo is a tad annoyed that these rumors are out there, that he's had to address recruits. He's had to address it twice in a press conference. And if it's an agent out there who's leaking it to certain media members, if it's Scott Woodward still trying to cloud up the waters, whatever, well, they may be damaging a relationship with Jimbo. If you listen to him, you hear exactly what he's saying. We'll let you listen to the quote here in a minute. But Jimbo was talking to all of you out there watching. They're on the CWA and on YouTube, drinking your coffee, driving to work. He was talking to all of you. And I think it was very clear what he was trying to say. But I do want to say that I got to be full disclosure about Tim Brando. Full disclosure. I didn't really like him at SNR. When I was working at the local level, I felt like he didn't like what we were doing because it was a local station who bought a national station, national network, blah, 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 blah. But then he was very nice to me, and he let me host his show. So that, my opinion kind of changed of him. But I feel he's out of touch when it comes to this stuff. He is a Hall of Famer when it comes to this business. But yesterday on Twitter, I got a couple tweets I'll read out to you. Hi, not an expert, just a play-by-play guy. That's the second time in a week that he's said that says what he sees. I didn't hear a denial, did you? Did he say when the phone rings from Woodward he won't pick up? You need to go to the School of Agent Speak. There you're going to find the answer that you can never believe all that you hear. Simple as that. He had a couple of exchanges. Like I said, you deaf? Are you deaf, should it say? Until he says, I will not take a phone call after the season from Scott Woodward at LSU. This story won't go away. That's it, okay, bud? I can draw a better picture than that. Enough. Then he goes on to say, I never said he was going to take the LSU job. I simply stated he's the first call they would make. That chip on your Aggie shoulder sounds more like a boulder, bud. This is the last response to a tweet from an A&M fan. I'll take. Jimbo's denial doesn't stop the talk. And then one more. Not from good old Timmy B. I'm Tim Brando. No, this one from Cedric Golden. Very nice guy. I've met him on a couple of occasions, once with OB. And I didn't hear his exact quote on Feinbaum, but he said it was clear that Jimbo had not made up his mind. But OB has some clarity there. And with that, we begin the Go Hour. OB, you called Cedric Golden afterwards.
Yeah, he said, because I didn't know that he was even on Feinbaum, so I saw it on TexAgs, the forums. They were talking about him, people mad at Cedric, and I called him out. He said, did you not see the Jimbo's response to my question on the in his press conference? He said, no, I was in Sarkisian's press conference. I sat at the same time. So apparently what happened was he goes on Feinbaum. Feinbaum called him up earlier today, assuming that they're going to talk about Texas and Kansas. And Feinbaum hits him with that question. Well, he doesn't know that what Jimbo has said, and he's still going on the premise of when Jimbo says, I plan to be at A&M, which I even said, that leaves you uneasy because there's a big difference between saying I plan and I will be. That's one of those things that in the past you've heard coaches like Nick Saban say, well, he actually said, I'm not going to leave. But so that's just one of those buzzwords you say, okay, he said plan, that leaves you an out. So then I said, no, he actually, and he goes, oh, well, that's different. So I think anybody that actually watched or heard that press conference, heard what Jimbo, how he emphatically said, I ain't going anywhere or nowhere, or however he said it. I think if you actually paid attention, and if you're not invested, or rooting for him to go, then it made it clear. In fact, he even said, "Is that clean enough?" I think he meant to say, "Is that clear enough?" But that I'm not going. I'd be the dumbest man on God's earth if I did.
So we live in this society, in this new digital age where interactions equal self-worth, right? And clicks equal how good you're doing at your job if you're a journalist, let's just say. And I think that's what sometimes these guys who have contrarian thoughts are doing. They don't realize it, but it's you post something often for a response, right? Now, I know that he's just a play-by-play guy, and this goes beyond Timmy B. This is people out there. We tweet things, we put reports out there to inform, entertain, and start dialogue. And maybe what his point of view, he really believes that. But it came across as, I'm going to be different than everybody else, and I want to hear the heat, and then I want to turn off the heat. That's how it came across to me. We'll see how things play out with people's opinions about this. But I searched yesterday the Bruce Feldmans of the world to see, and it seemed like most people took what Jimbo said to be he's staying at A&M.
Well, I mean, he said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not interested. I'm not going anywhere. I'd have to be the dumbest man on God's earth to be assembling this recruiting class, which he hinted he thinks might end up being number one in the nation.
Right.
And recruit those guys to go and then play against me. I mean, if you can't, after all that, and him saying, I ain't going nowhere, this is where I want to be, and you can't say, okay, end of story, then you're just fooling yourself.
Yeah. So we have a show topic today, very simple one. You probably expected this one coming. What did you think of Jimbo's response about the LSU rumors? You can be a part of the conversation by calling the BCSI hotline. We'll take some phone calls today, 979-693-1150, 979-693-1150. You can also text the AMB text line, 979-693-1150. AMB, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas banking, the website amb.com. All right, so let's listen to his response. And in a little bit, we're going to go to journalism school, and I'm going to give you props on how you ask questions, because people believe it's real simple to ask a question in that environment. It is not, because if you leave coaches or players any leeway, they can answer it a different way. They can give you a yes answer. You can get them confused with how long your question is. You ask very good questions, and you deserve it's what we do. So I'm giving you props for being a good dad. I'm giving you props for being a good reporter, right?
Thank you.
You're doing what you're supposed to do, and you do it well. But let's listen to Jimbo's response yesterday after the great OB asked him the tough question.
Well, then I wanted to ask you, amid the persistent reports, are you at a point where you can guarantee that you're going to be staying at A&M for next season and beyond?
Here's a bet. I've told everybody I'm staying here, and I've told everybody I plan on being the coach at A&M. All right. And everybody thinks all coaches lie. I know y'all don't believe us. All right. That's why we don't trust y'all. Okay. So we're even. Okay. Whatever we say, nothing's off the record. Okay. It's off the record. No, it ain't off the record. You didn't say that. All right. But I'm joking. But we're going to recruit maybe as good a class. Here's a bet. Because I said the other things. I plan on being. I love the AD. I love the president. I love the chancellor. I love living here. I love being in my ranch. I love the family loves it here. I love Kyle Field. I love the people. I love all that stuff. And that's obviously not good enough. And I get it. I'm not mad at you. I'm sorry, seriously. I read the reports and people come to me. I say, I don't want to hear. I'm not interested. We may recruit number one. We're going to recruit an unbelievable class this year. Okay? So I'm either the dumbest human being on God's earth. Okay? Who's going to recruit all these guys to A&M so I can go across over here and go play against them. Okay? If I did that, you ought to say, that's the dumbest human being. I don't want him to be my coach. Okay? Guys, we're going to recruit a heck of a class. We're going to have special things here. We're building special things. They're investing in the program. They're investing in everything we got. We're building a culture. We're not where we are. And that was a disappointing thing about Saturday for me, that we didn't take a step in some of the things I thought we really should have. And it wasn't because I want to. It's got to how to. And I got to do a better job explaining to our players to get them to do it. But I want to be at A&M. I plan on being at A&M. I ain't going no. I don't want to be nowhere else. I love being right here. Is that clean enough?
Yeah. I don't want to go anywhere else. I plan on. I will be. He said it all.
Yeah, when you make the statement that I'd have to be the dumbest human being ever to leave, if you left,
people are going to use that, right?
Everybody's going to use that against you. So, but yeah, I mean, again, if you won't accept what he's saying after that, then you're just not going to. You just, you're that guy when your team is down by 14 points with 10 seconds to go. You're thinking, we can still score and get the onside kick and throw a Hail Mary.
That would be me, by the way. I'm constantly thinking that. Except I didn't. Well, we'll talk about that later. Look, I think he is a soundbite machine, and he's authentic, and he's genuine, and I believe him. And I believed him a month ago when it was initially asked, and I still believe him. And I understand a reporter is supposed to poke holes, and that's what we do. To me, this is pretty cut and dry.
It is to me too. I do think that there was some reason to be a little bit hesitant, or just not feeling completely 100% secure when he said, "I plan to be here" before.
Yeah, what I'd say to that is, while I understand, I think we felt that way more because of the constant rumors in the last 10 days, right? Like
Right.
Why isn't it going away? Why are national guys with great reputations saying, "I'm hearing it's Jimbo. I'm hearing it's Jimbo"?
Well, I think that's coming from LSU, and I think it's number one. They're hoping they can still figure out some way to get him. It's still number one guy on their list. But number two, I think Jimbo said it. They're putting together a heck of a recruiting class, and one of those guys today is from Louisiana, and I think they're thinking, what, we need to interrupt this. Maybe if these rumors persist, some of these guys will be thinking, well, I don't know if he's going to be my coach, and I'm going to back off, and this and that, and maybe I can string along some guy that we might get here.
Well, let me throw this out as well. Le'Veon Moss today on some sites was 100% going to where?
On some sites, LSU.
Right. If Jimbo Fisher was going to pull a cloak and dagger on us and end up at LSU, do you think a guy who was 100% everybody thought was going to LSU would have committed this morning at 7:44, whatever time it was, to Texas A&M, or would he have held out?
I think he would hold out.
Yep. That's what I think as well. Let's go to the News and Social Center. Tori Esprovoa. Good morning to you, Tori.
Good morning, you two. I have a couple headlines to read to you guys real fast. Let's start first with women's basketball. In the second highest scoring game of her career, Jordan Nixon led the Texas A&M Aggies team in its win over DePaul at 95-75 inside Reed Arena last night. And the next women's basketball game is going to be held Thursday, November 18th against SFA at 7 p.m. in Reed Arena. And then next we have Texas A&M softball announced the remainder of its spring schedule yesterday, which features a trio of home tournaments at the Davis Diamond. The three tournaments will highlight a busy February for the Aggies.
Thank you very much, Tori.
You're
Appreciate that. And a quick text message came in, and I understand the message here on the A&B text line, but I just don't believe it's a factor here. I think had he used the word guarantee in his answer like you did in the question, then it would have helped.
Well,
he can't guarantee, because what if Ross wanted to fire him tomorrow?
Well,
not gonna happen.
I think I think we're wanting him to be a politician. We're wanting him to be a spokesman, all those things, instead of just a football coach.
Yep.
What he said to me was more than enough. He responded to my question, "Can you guarantee?" by saying, "I ain't going nowhere."
And he answered, to me, enough. Hey, we're going to go to journalism school when we come back. We're at question asking school. I'm going to show you how Olin does it with his question to DeMarvin Leal, and how another person in the media did it, who I don't even know his name, but I had a lot of laughs listening to it. Right now, though, moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. It's about deals. It's about customer service. It's about an experience that, I don't know if you're thinking about buying a car right now. Maybe you're, like my wife and I, we know we need to get a car. We're just not there today, but we know we have to get a car, and the thought process and all that's good stuff. And I know how I operate. You try to sell to me, I'm out. I may go to a store, but I want to approach you, salesperson, or maybe just one quick question like, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Nope. Then leave me alone. Caldwell Country, great customer service. You're going to get that. That's A. B, service. During, before, after, your car needs to come in for some maintenance, whatever it may be, they do that there. It's not a far drive. It's good deals and great people. My buddy Zach Hester there and his crew, they do great work. 15 minutes, Brian and Caldwell, just a short conversation away, but you're going to see the difference when you step on the lot and start doing business with Zach and the fellas. Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com.
Find out first, get scores, updates, and more. Follow the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM on Twitter. Zone 1150. You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center sells and service Polaris ATVs, Rangers, Razors, Global Electric Cars, and the Polaris Slingshot. Polaris Fun Center, where they sell and service fun, not tractors. The voice of the SEC. And you can hear Paul Feinbaum weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone.
The association, because they support so many different things and they are involved, as a student you feel like you have somebody in your corner.
We know that Alfredo's family has never seen him march live at Kyle Field. With the help of the Association of Former Students, we're going to end that today. Alfredo's family is here with us.
To the Association of Former Students, I don't know how much I can thank you enough for giving me hope that for anything that goes wrong, something good is going to happen out of it. Whatever they do for the school, it's always going to come out with a smile on someone else's face.
To learn more about the association's impact or to make a gift, visit tx.ag/giving.
Hi, this is Jeff Vanderwood with Veribank. Veribank is continuing to grow in the Brazos Valley with a brand new full-service banking center on Highway 6 in front of Academy. We have a team of genuine bankers specializing in personal and business banking, wealth management, and investor real estate lending ready to serve you. Veribank is here to help you succeed financially, and you can bank on it.
Visit verabank.com today. That's VERA bank.com. Verabank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I would like to invite you out for lunch with Louie this Friday from the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue in Lincoln. The Louie Bellina Show will be live. You can stop by, say hi. We've got free pizza from Howdy's, and you can win great prizes like tickets to Fiesta Texas, tickets to the Texas Renaissance Festival, Zone T-shirts, and Rudy $50 gift cards. It's lunch with Louie this Friday from 11 to 2 at the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue and Lincoln. See you there.
Yeah, DeMarvin, when you were talking about this game coming up being an emotional game for you, should we just go ahead and interpret that as what we all suspect?
No,
Is that'll be your last home game?
I'm just saying in general, like, we got people who came back for the 6th year. So, those guys, it's going to be very emotional for everybody just to play all together for one last time.
There is DeMarvin Leal, Olin Buchanan, asking him the question, the second star of the press conference yesterday, OB, Jimbo being the lead star, asking him if, that meant anything, right? Very well thought out question that was on the fly. You kind of, perfect. You asked a question, you got the answer, move on. I would like for you to now, you have your headphones on?
Yeah.
All right. I would like for you now to hear how not to ask a question. I don't know who this reporter is, but yes, and look, don't come to me with, I can't believe you're putting Brando on the air. I can't believe you're putting Sark on the air with that voice. Just listen to the question and enjoy this question, because this OB maybe is the way you should have asked your question. Take a listen and tell me if you understand what he's asking.
Good morning to you, Coach Sarkisian.
Good morning.
Coach, a couple years ago, one of my good friends and I were faced with a massive problem we couldn't solve. And in his wisdom, he said, at this point, we need to stop and ask ourselves, what would an extraordinary person do in this situation? And this resonated with me the whole weekend. And I realized that of all the coaches who could be standing at that podium right now in those shoes, you are that extraordinary person. And you have a team of what I call coaching juggernauts. This is not only my opinion, this is a fact. I don't think anyone could dispute this. So my question, as we write, the Sarkisian era story, we're not even done with the first chapter yet. Can you unfold some of the onion of what are you working on? How are you solving this problem? I realize that you might not even know, but I want to steal from Julian Edelman. It's going to be one hell of a story.
Yeah, I think first of all,
what the hell did he just ask?
Well, I think he wanted.
It took 39 minutes.
I think he wanted Coach Sarkisian to acknowledge the things that are going wrong and address how he plans to fix it.
Okay, that took you 7 seconds.
But it strikes me, and I don't know who the guy is. I don't know how old he is, because if he's a younger guy, first of all, he's got a better speech pattern than I do. So he gets, I talk funny, I admit it, and I stammer, and that's just me naturally. I wish I wasn't.
Right.
I wish I had the delivery that you do.
I know.
But that guy had a good delivery, and he was clear. He has no accent. That said, it struck me that he was trying to butter up Sarkisian because I don't want you to get mad at me when I ask you the hard question.
How many cliches and references and quotes did he mention? C.S. Lewis there? I mean, how many different things did he?
I say this: I don't know the guy,
right?
And he might be a young guy. And when I was a young reporter, I would have a tendency to ask long, verbose questions, and I've learned over time that if you're going to ask a hard question, and the one to DeMarvin wasn't hard, but if you're going to ask a hard question, the best way to do it is just be as direct as possible.
Was it a hard question though? Like, hey, what are you going to do to fix this situation? This is what and I think you're very nice. I'm not as nice as you when it comes to that question. I think it's comedy. You made yourself the spectacle of that press conference, and you try to endear yourself to the coach, but you also try to be the smartest guy in the room. You don't have to do it. I have found that reporters who ask questions that take them a long time to ask a question and interject themselves into that question don't know what the hell they're talking about 97.2% of the time.
Well, he had a good vocabulary. And
you're nice. Gosh, I was hoping you'd be mean.
Well, I mean, I guess because, again, if I knew the guy, if he was young, for instance, I would say, yeah, that sounds like a young reporter, But the question that he was trying to get to was not a bad question. It was a good question. What are you going to, hey, this is a crap show. How are you going to clean it up?
There you go. That's what you got to say.
Well, you wouldn't say it.
That's all you got to say. Hey, this is a train wreck. They lost 5 in a row,
Coach, you've lost 5 in a row. You just lost to Kansas. I know that,
Your story isn't written yet. Chapter 1.
So how do we, what do you have to do to clean this up? What do you have to do to turn this around?
So I saw tweets about that question yesterday. I'm like, we hear dumb questions. I've asked dumb questions. We've all asked dumb questions in a press conference. But then I saw somebody tweet, this is an SNL skit. It can't be real. And this morning I listened to it and I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know what? I missed the mean OB. I'm going to go to Dalton. Dalton, can you grade that question, please?
I mean, I'm not good at asking press conference questions, so I'm not.
I got Gary Pinkel when he was the coach at Missouri real mad at me for a long verbose question once.
Did you really?
Yeah. And I'm sure I've done it, but again, I've learned. I remember I was trying to ask a tough question to Jody Conrad, the old Texas basketball coach, and you know what she said to me?
What's that?
Spit it out. And I think that's when I learned as much, to just get right to it. Because, if there's a tough question that needs to be asked, they probably already know it needs to be asked, right?
That is the worst. I don't know if it's the worst question I've ever heard, but it took so long that I didn't really know what he was asking by the end of it.
Well, again, there was a lot of butter in that. Hey, you're a coach. You're a coach.
Good morning, coach. Good morning.
You're extraordinary.
You are
that guy.
You're the guy. And what did he say? Something was a fact.
And doggone it, people like you.
There's people on your staff that need to coach, and that's a fact, coach. You can't dispute that. Something to that effect.
I mean, think about what's going on over there.
He said the people on his staff are coaching juggernauts. Which I don't know if...
That's a fact.
It's an interesting
Sounds like juggernauts.
Don't they have a coach on that staff that can't coach in the SEC?
This is true.
I don't know, but I know this. Over there, they've had the monkey gate. They've had the player video and the coach gate.
The pole gate?
They have pole gate. They played like pole cats.
Right.
You know what a polecat is?
No idea.
It's a skunk. But anyway, it's an old country version of a skunk. But anyway, and then they lost to they've got a 5-game losing streak and lost to Kansas. There's hard questions to be asked. But if this was again, he may be older than me for all I know. But if he is a young reporter, if I was mentoring him, I would say, next time, just get straight to the question, because they're not going to. The coach is not your friend. you can have a friendly relationship. They don't want to be your friend.
No, they don't want to be your friend.
Jimbo's never asked me over to, he's never grilled a steak at his ranch for me like he did Marty and McGee.
No.
If he asked me to, I'd go.
Sure.
But he's not going to because there's a line that separates the media from the coaches. Like he said, that's why you guys always lie and you never believe us.
So you would give him advice on how to ask a question. I'd say, you know what? You need to change careers, bro.
Oh, man.
I know.
Man, you're harsh.
I'm just saying, like, that was ridiculous. And by the way, I'll probably have a day where people will say the same thing about me. I am honest. Like, I've asked some dumb questions.
I'd just say, just get to the point next time.
We got to hit a break, but I'll tell the story. I asked once Billy Gillespie, not that dumb of a question, but kind of a dumb question. And I don't even think it was that. I was a young reporter. Like, I had read whatever basketball publication. It was like my first week on the job at ABC 40 here in town. And I asked him, you know, why is Joseph Jones one of the best power forwards in the Big 12? And he looked at me and he's like, who told you that Joseph Jones is one of the best forwards in the Big 12? And he just kind of gave me a look like, why are you asking such a dumb question? And bye. And I left. It was embarrassing. So when you have an embarrassing moment like that in a press conference, you don't need to go to the emergency room. Nope. You just probably need to just do some evaluations and, you know, maybe write out your questions beforehand. I don't know. But don't go to the emergency room for that. But when you do have an emergency situation, you go to one place, Caprock Health. They got a couple places here in town. You got to check them out. 100% locally owned and operated. They are awesome here in the Brazos Valley, and they provide the ability to put the patient first in every decision that they make. They want you to feel better. Like, we go to the emergency room, it sucks, right? We don't want to make it worse by waiting in a crowded waiting room, asking all, you know, they just, can we get to the situation? That's what they do there. They get to you quickly. Caprock Hospital in Bryan and Caprock 24-hour emergency center in College Station both have 0 wait times for emergency care. You'll never have to sit in a crowded waiting room. The hospital and 24-hour ER maintain a clean and sterile, safe environment. It is Caprock Health.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The College Station Noon Lions Christmas tree sale begins on Black Friday. The tree lot is located at the corner of Texas Avenue and West King Cole Street. Proceeds benefit many Lions charities and projects. Aggies Can is collecting donations for its 21st annual food drive, benefiting the Brazos Valley Food Bank and the 12th Can Food Pantry. Visit 12thman.com/AggiesCan. All decked out in fall-themed decorations, the Gardens at Texas A&M welcomes visitors to its fall festival throughout the month of November. Follow the Gardens on social media for more information. After a year like no other, you can be part of a new beginning for girls when you volunteer with Girl Scouts. Learn more at gsctx.org/volunteer. It's Lunch with Louie this Friday at the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue and Lincoln. Catch the Louie Bellina Show live, spin the wheel, and win great prizes, and enjoy a free lunch from Howdy's Pizza. Stop by the T-Mobile on Texas and Lincoln this Friday from 11 to 2. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Question. Would you pick a chain barbecue place over a hometown joint? Do you root for East Coast universities instead of the local team? Nah, then why choose a big Wall Street bank? A&B started in 1892. Generations later, we're still owned and operated by the same Texas family. We support this community. We value your privacy. We make quick decisions, and we hate red tape. We answer to you, not Wall Street. Bank with A&B. Family owned, Texas proud. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since 1957, Slovačić Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovačić is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovačić. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovačić Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
There's a Kubota for every job. There's a Kubota for every harvest. There's a Kubota for every task. And at Normandy Tractor, for a limited time only, take the drive to Normandy, Texas, and let Vernon and the boys show you what they have. Get the new Kubota BX 1880 16.6 horsepower tractor and a Kubota loader with a quick attach bucket now through December 31st, 2021. For a cash price of only $12,950 or payments as low as $170 per month. with no money down, based on 0% down, 1.99% APR for 84 months. Normandy Tractor has over 8 acres of Kubota tractors, Kubota RTVs, ATVs, and Kubota mowers to choose from. They're at the corner of Highway 39 and OSR in Normandy, Texas. And remember, nobody beats Normandy Tractor. Nobody.
Now through December 31st, 2021. For warranty terms, see Kubota's limited warranty at KubotaUSA.com or your Kubota dealer.
This is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
And we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. The official insurance provider of TexAgs Radio. The difference is real. Rollo can write any form of insurance to anyone in Texas and several other states, and it's got over 30 offices here in the state of Texas. The headquarters right here on Highway 6 in College Station. Call us up or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO, or go to rolloinsurance.com. I do want to read one quick text message from the A&B text line. This comes from Chase in Houston. And he says, did Napoleon Dynamite ask that question during the Sark press conference?
Okay. I never saw Napoleon Dynamite.
You got to spend some time watching that, my friend.
But so that would tell me it's a young guy.
No, I don't think he was young. I think this is a veteran. This is what I think. A veteran who just, okay, how about this? An older guy maybe new to the business.
Maybe.
I'm going to go with that. You know who's a veteran and a Hall of Famer and great at everything she does?
Yeah, that'd be Shereen Williams.
That's right. That's why we go to the BCSI hotline. Good morning, Shereen. Did I hit the wrong button? Shereen, are you there?
There she is.
Now I can hear you guys. Yeah, and I heard the Sark thing. I've been wanting to know who it is ever since. I heard it was somebody from Fort Hill Street, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Who asked the question?
That sounds right. Yeah, just I don't mean to be mean because I know I've asked a lot of dumb questions in my career. A lot. And I probably asked one here recently.
Yeah.
But that was just a 13-minute bad question.
Well, the question, again, itself wasn't bad. It was just the buttering up process.
The way he asked it, yeah. No question.
How about...
Well, I got some publicity out of that one.
Yeah. But how about our veteran columnist right here, Olin Buchanan, asking the tough question to Jimbo yesterday? What did you think of the... Not necessarily the question, because we don't want to make OB the story, but the response from Jimbo.
Well, I liked the response yesterday even better than I liked it the first time. Because the first time I thought he said, I'm happy in College Station. I have no plans to leave. Well, plans change. I mean, we all know that. And Jimbo's right. Coaches lie. And he kept blaming Nick Saban for the repeated questions on this because Nick Saban famously said, I am not going to Alabama. And what happens? He goes to Alabama. So he could blame Nick for the repeated questions on that because coaches do lie, as we all know, and plans do change, and all those things happen. So I thought his answer yesterday was very, very good. And, I just think until LSU nationally, not necessarily locally, because I think Aggies are pretty sure that Jimbo's not going anywhere. 99% sure, I would say, but as long as LSU has an opening, I think nationally and especially in Louisiana, the rumors are going to continue that Jimbo's going to be their target. So it's not going away. He's had great answers, especially this time. I thought his answers yesterday were fantastic. I thought it was a really good press conference yesterday. And I wasn't there for the whole thing. I didn't see the whole thing. But the parts that I saw in OB's question, I thought was really, really good and handled very well by Jimbo.
You better be able to ask a good question if your job was to follow Shereen Williams. That's what I did. So you talk about going into I always said I'm the Phil Bankston of writers. You know who Phil Bankston is?
Yeah, no. Whatever.
He's the coach that replaced Vince Lombardi.
Oh, well, there you go.
Olin Bankston.
Hey, yeah. Shereen, I still feel, and there's not that many out there right now, but there are a few that hear what they want to hear. There's some reporters out there, columnists, play-by-play guys, that are saying, that it's still not an absolute denial from Jimbo. Is that because people you think have this agenda? What from that would leave the door open?
Well, again, I think it goes back to coaches who said, I'm not leaving and then leave. Famously, Nick Saban. I think it goes back partly to that, but he left Florida State. And if you remember nationally, no one had any clue he was going to leave. And well, why would he leave Florida State for A&M? Well, I think the answers were pretty obvious to all of us. And so I still think that's out there. Well, he could leave, you know, and it does make sense. Scott Woodward's there. He spent time in Louisiana. We know all that. You know, they've won a national championship way more recently than A&M has. All those things are out there. We understand that. But I just think he's really happy here, and I do think recruiting one of the top classes in the country with Walter Nolan and the guys they already have committed. I don't think he's going to leave. I really don't. Now, I'm not 100% convinced, but I will be shocked if he leaves A&M for LSU. I really will. And I don't know that, frankly, that LSU can afford him after the $30 million they're spending on getting rid of all the coaches they're getting rid of and the money they have out there. But let's be clear on this, that the Florida State and the leaving Florida State for A&M and leaving A&M for LSU are completely not the same. And he had issues at Florida State. There was a problem with money at Florida State. He has none of those problems at A&M. I mean, there is zero reason to leave A&M. Not based on any other school and what they have, but you have everything you want and everything it takes to win at A&M. Is all I'm saying. You can win at A&M. I think he knows he can win at A&M. He's recruiting top classes at A&M. Beating Alabama should have told him and everyone else, this is possible. You can win a national championship at A&M. They give you everything that you need to get it done, and I think he knows that, and I think he knows he can win a championship at A&M as well as he can win one at LSU.
Well, our man David Nuno pointed out today that A&M, Jimbo got a commitment from a running back from Louisiana that was the services had him projected 100% to LSU. And if you're going to LSU, why would you accept a Louisiana kid's commitment to A&M?
That's a great point.
He's
I'm
astute.
a savant, you know.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Hey, Shereen, let's move ahead and talk about what happened. Actually, look back at what happened on Saturday against Ole Miss. Your take on what was a weird evening that I have categorized it as A&M could have been blown out and they could have won, both on the same night.
Yeah, how incredible is that? It's unbelievable. It should have been over at halftime, and Lane Kiffin didn't do a good job there of converting some of those chances into points, or it would have been over. And I texted somebody and said, if Lane Kiffin loses his job, he should be fired for negligence, because this should be 30-0 right now. And, you know, kudos to the defense for hanging in there, letting the Aggies hang around and giving them a chance to win. But frankly, I mean, we glossed over the offensive problems. You know, we saw what they did at Alabama. It was one game. And if you think about what's happened since the Alabama game, they can't get passes down the field. And if you can't throw passes down the field, Ole Miss did the exact right thing. They loaded the box and said, we're going to stop the run, and we're going to make you beat us throwing the ball down the field because we don't think you can do it. And guess what? They were right. Can't do it. So until A&M shows an ability to throw the ball down the field, passes of 20 or more yards, that's what teams are going to do. And there's only one team left that can do that, plus a bowl game. But that's what LSU is going to do. And guess what? It's going to be a close game because you're going to have to throw the ball down the field until you show ability to do that. You're not going to be able to run the ball. I just didn't think anything was very good. I didn't think the coaching was very good. I didn't think the play calling was very good. I didn't think the execution was very good. Aside, as I said, from the defense in the red zone, I thought was really good. But other than that, I didn't think there was much there. Like, I was kept waiting. Look, let's do a play action pass. Let's do a draw. Let's do something else on offense than what we're doing that's obviously not working. It's apparent to me that Jimbo doesn't like trick plays, because I don't think I've ever seen one at A&M since he's been here. Maybe one or two. I can't even remember any. But trick plays, something different. You've got to try to get the ball down the field, and it was just never there. And if you can't score, it's going to be really, really hard to win. And they were lucky, as we look back on it, to win the Auburn game. If the defense hadn't scored the touchdown and played like they played, A&M wasn't going to win that game because the offense just couldn't execute. You got to have better offense. You got to have better quarterback play. Till you get that, I mean, you're going to – It's just what you said. You're going to have a chance to win every game. You're going to have a chance to lose every game. And guess what? They better be ready to play against Prairie View on Saturday. They better not walk out there thinking, this is going to be, we're just going to kill Prairie View. It's going to be really, really easy. Be ready to play. Execute your offense. Try to get something going offensively, especially down the field. That's what I want to see. I want to see some passes down the field. Aside from that underthrown pass to Chapman in the Auburn game, I can't even think of a long throw they've had here recently.
Well, they actually did throw a long, if you consider a 35-yarder, a long pass.
Yeah.
That could have been a touchdown that gave them the lead, and Demond Demas dropped it. But your point is well made.
Yeah, they had drops.
Huh?
They had drops. They had plenty of drops, too. There's no question about that.
The one thing that I was frustrated with is that they, in the running game, they did have success, and a lot of it with Devon A-Chain, but I thought he was underutilized.
Yeah, agreed. Completely agreed. He was a better running back on Saturday.
Shereen, do you think A&M is an elite quarterback away, or maybe not elite, maybe be too much of a word, but a pretty darn near elite quarterback away from being a college football playoff team?
Yes, and I think that's what it takes. I mean, when we look at Texas's struggles, somebody asked me yesterday, what do you think the problem is at Texas? Tell me a good quarterback they've had. Until you have a good quarterback, you can have all the great running backs you want, all the great receivers you want, all the great offensive linemen you want, all the great defensive players. Until you have a great quarterback, you have no chance. Period. End of story. I think that's why a friend of mine went to Ole Miss. I said, how did you guys lose 2 games with the quarterback you have? And I realized he's been banged up, hasn't been able to run. Thank goodness for us, hasn't been able to run like he ran earlier in the season. But when you have a good quarterback, you just have a chance to win every single game. We had it with Johnny. I mean, you just saw it with Johnny. You have a chance to win every single game. You had a chance to win a national championship. Until you get that consistent quarterback play, we can throw it down the field, where you scare defenses, opens up the running game, all that stuff. That's what it takes. I mean, look at the teams other than Alabama, who now once had no great quarterbacks, but now here recently has had good quarterbacks. I don't think this quarterback this year is as good, which is why they've had some of the struggles they've had. But when you have that really good quarterback in any level of football, you have a chance every single week. And when you don't have that quarterback, it's really hard to win a championship. It's been done. I realize it's been done. When you look back at the Baltimore Ravens when they had Trent Dilfer, it's been done. But most of the time, you need a really good quarterback to win a national championship, to win a Super Bowl. If you don't have that, you're not going to do it.
Shereen, let's get into the top Aggies in the pros out there. Who do you want to start with?
We're going to give Amani Watts some love. We haven't given him love in a really long time. He's had a huge win. Played the Cowboys this week. He had 17 defensive snaps and 17 special team snaps, and he made the most of those. 7 tackles, a tackle for loss, and also had a special teams tackle. Huge win for the Chiefs. Big game this weekend, Chiefs and Cowboys in Kansas City. Number 2, I'm going to go with Ryan Tannehill again. 1927, 213, a touchdown. Also had a TD run. Big win over the Saints. If you look at the Titans' resume, they have a better resume, I think, than any team in football. They've beaten more really good teams than any other team in the NFL has. And then number 1, I mean, there were lots of choices with Mike Evans, and Miles had a sack, and Ricky Seals-Jones, but 2 of those 3 teams came out on the losing end. I'm going to go with Dan Campbell. And I know it wasn't a win, but he got the tie with the Detroit Lions, and it's a step in the right direction. I just think he's done a really good job with very little talent in Detroit, and kudos to him. He took over play-calling duties this week, saw a difference in that offense, and they were able to get the tie with the Steelers. And I realize the Steelers without Ben Roethlisberger, but I just think the Lions are better than that and whatever one record that they have now. I do think this is a team that's going to win at least one game and head in the right direction. Just need a little more talent.
Shereen, thank you so much. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Bye now. Shereen Williams there, Pro Football Talk, our good friend, breaking it all down. Remind you to text radio to 1-833-638-6248, 833-638-6248 for your chance to win the Big Friday giveaway, courtesy of our friends there at Aggieland Outfitters. On the Friday show during the 10 o'clock hour, we're going to unveil that winner and I liked how I spoke there. Like I forgot how to speak for a second. And here it is. The Texas A&M Adidas Lone Star waterproof hat, retail value of $32.99. I could see OB wearing this. I could see him wearing it kind of to the side, the way the guys are doing it now. Just kind of cool. I don't know if they're doing that anymore, actually. I think they were doing it with like a flat bill. But regardless, I could see OB wearing it. It doesn't matter what your activity is. You can stay comfortable, support your Aggie football team. Waterproof hat. It's got the maroon Texas A&M Lone Star in the front and features the adjustable buckle on the back. Perfect for any time you want to wear it at Kyle Field or just around town. Go check it out. And also, Johnny Manziel signing day on December 2nd from 4 to 7 o'clock at the University Drive location. Disclaimer, up to 2 items per person, as well as Aggieland Outfitters kickoff to the Christmas event, November 11th to 12th, which just happened. So there you go. Good copy points there. All right, it is Aggieland Outfitters. Go check it out.
We got the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays from 2 to 4 here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, The Zone.
AggielandBigDeals.com. Shop local, buy local, save big. I'm struggling, can't pay full price. How about Aggieland Big Deals? Yeah, that's right. I'll be shopping local and saving big with discounts up to 30% on food, clothes, and car repair, or even entertainment and personal care. Is it really gonna be convenient though? Just download the app right on your phone. Oh man, that's slick. Now I'm all in. Those digital certificates are fun to spend. Plus I can print and send gifts along at AggielandBigDeals.com.
At United Roofing and Sheet Metal, we've got you covered inside and out.
Need help with your high wind or hail damage claims? Call Larry Winkler and the fine folks at United. United Roofing is your local, professional, family-owned business with over 40 years of service to the Brazos Valley. United is your insurance claims specialist, providing the most comprehensive full-system labor and material warranty in the roofing industry. Call United today at 268-ROOF.
My name is Bobby. I'm a veteran and lost my leg to a roadside bomb. My victory was going from a wheelchair to becoming a weightlifting champion.
I'm Sam. I'm a veteran. My victory was finding a career I can be proud of and supporting my family.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran, and my victory was finishing my education.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support for victories great and small.
My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
My victory was getting my service dog a new best friend.
We help more than 1 million veterans every year as they face and conquer their challenges.
My victory is being able to be there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
In McVay's time with Stafford, they must win a Super Bowl, yes. I don't say they have to do it this year. They have to win a playoff game this year for sure. Got to win a playoff
game. But if they just win a playoff game, you'll probably consider them still to be a failure, right? One playoff game, they got one playoff win. I think they have to win.
I agree with Max. At some point, while they together in the next 3 years, they got to win a Super Bowl.
They have to win the Super Bowl this year. There's no doubt about that.
And until then, I would say to not say it's a disappointing season this year, 2 playoff wins.
Yeah, okay.
But you got to win one. You got to win one, or it's like, yo, you couldn't win a playoff game?
Get to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl with them because they went with Jared Goff. And they didn't win, but at least they went. So Matthew Stafford's got to do a lot of the same stuff that Jared Goff did, but the cherry on top is winning the Super Bowl.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
Having some headphone issues here. They're all wrapped up as I took them off. Welcome back to the show. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Winding down the first hour of the show. Got some text messages on the A&B text line and, of course, our BCSI hotline. With that, we go to Tori Esprovoa there at the News and Social Center. Tori.
Hi. I have Trey and Shiner saying, Jimbo put LSU to rest. What I love about him is his honesty and the ability to cut through the crap and get to the point. In a role of coach speak, it's nice that we have a man that can speak the truth, whether you like it or not.
Yep. Here's a couple text messages or messages on the YouTube chat for you, OB. One's for you. Elton says, OB, you sure like to upset Jimbo. I don't think you upset Jimbo at all.
I don't think so.
No.
But
and by the way, you're supposed to ask the questions we ask. So,
well, we don't know how that that text was meant to be taken. It might be a compliment.
It might be, yeah.
But
I don't think he took offense to your question. I think.
No, he even said,
yeah.
Well, I'm not mad at you, Olin.
Yeah, he gets it. He understands it. There's another one that I wanted to read your way, OB. This one is coming from Little Chill 721. Is Stetson Bennett an elite quarterback? Bennett is a 3-star prospect. The guy was buried deep in the depth chart at Georgia until an elite quarterback left or were injured. And I think that goes back to the question about A&M being an elite quarterback away from being a college football playoff team and not necessarily needing that. We're also talking about one of the greatest defenses we've seen in the last whatever years.
Yeah, long time. Stetson Bennett is not an elite quarterback. He doesn't have to score very many points. Not him. I think you can win. You can still win with 3 things. If you have just a dominant defense, a good running game, and a reliable kicker.
Yeah. Yep. Tori, you got one more for us?
I do. I have Matt in San Antonio saying, I feel very confident Jimbo will stay about at a 99.9999% confidence level. He did a great job at outlining as to why he wanted to stay. That being said, it will finally be nice to get closure in a few weeks against LSU, announces their new coach. But from now and then, I'm not going to worry about any of the rumors.
And for those of you wondering, why are you guys talking about this Jimbo thing? We're a 3-hour Texas A&M athletics show. It's the hottest topic, one of the hottest topics in college football. Of course, we're going to talk about it and give our perspective. That's why we talked about it, OB.
ESPN had it as one of its top stories yesterday.
I think the feeling is you guys keep talking about it, it keeps it a story. No, we're responding and telling you why it's not going to be a story moving ahead.
We don't make it a story, but you can't deny and ignore, and Jimbo says himself, that other people are talking about it.
That's it. We'll be back. TexAgs Radio.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family.
Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Your home for Aggie baseball, Aggie basketball, and Aggie football is The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, plus online at RadioAggieland.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. The annual meeting of Blinn College trustees in Brazos County is this afternoon. 3 agenda items involve the Bryan campus. The Washington County Board has been asked to give administrators authority to negotiate and execute a contract for the new administration building, which will replace what's been a church on recently acquired property at Villa Maria in Nash. Trustees will also consider allowing administrators to negotiate and execute a contract to replace the chiller and climate control equipment and make upgrades to interior and building access controls. Today's meeting starts at 5:30 in the Bryan Campus Student Center. Bryan ISD school board members will conduct the search for the next superintendent the same way that was done last time. There was a unanimous vote last night to hire the Texas Association of School Boards. Board President Mark McCall said the cost will depend on how much the organization is used.
To get through that community profile is about 50% of the contract. If at that point in time we have a candidate that we've identified that matches that profile and we do not need to continue, we can cancel the search at that point in time.
McCall said it would not be fair for a board member to be in charge of the search, and it would be a conflict of interest for central office administrators. For the 12th time, a College Station man is serving time in a Texas jail or prison. A Brazos County District Court jury that convicted 40-year-old Byron Carroll imposed his longest punishment at 8 years. That was for taking a $300 robot vacuum cleaner from the College Station Target last December. According to the district attorney's office, that was the sixth theft from that store, which became Carroll's 23rd theft conviction and 34th overall that began in 2002. Bryan Broadcasting's alternative country station, Maverick 100.9, was named Terrestrial Radio Station of the Year by the Texas Country Music Association at a ceremony in Fort Worth this weekend. For more news, go to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Howdy, Ags. This is Dr. Krishna Shanmugam from BCS Eye Associates. I'm a fellowship-trained cornea and glaucoma specialist and eye surgeon, but most importantly, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2007. I was born in Aggie, raised in Aggie, and now back in the Brazos Valley to serve Aggieland, the incredible place that made me the person that I am today. We're the only fellowship-trained glaucoma, cornea, and cataract surgeon in town, and would be delighted to take care of you locally for your eye exam and your eye surgery needs. Give us a call to schedule an appointment today with Dr. K at BCS Eye Associates at 979-701-2020 or visit mybcsi.com.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home and Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Texas A&M football coach Jimbo Fisher is doubling down on his desire to stay in Aggieland. When asked about his name being associated with the vacancy at LSU, Fisher had this to say.
We're going to recruit an unbelievable class this year, okay? So I'm either the dumbest human being on God's earth, okay, who's going to recruit all these guys to A&M so I can go across over here and go play against them, okay? If I did that, you ought to say, that's the dumbest human being. I don't want him to be my coach.
Fisher's 33-13 in nearly 4 seasons at A&M and recently signed a 4-year extension worth over $9 million annually. Jordan Nixon scored 25 points and Kayla Wells added 21 to lead number 24 Aggie women's basketball past DePaul yesterday, 95-75. With the win, the Ags are now 3-0 on the year. Time for a sneak peek at the rest of the SEC, brought to you by T-Mobile. The Tennessee women got the better of South Florida last night, 52-49. Florida topped Wofford, 61-47. Georgia rolled Furman, 78-41. And Vanderbilt fell to Middle Tennessee, 55-46. And that's been your SEC sneak peek, brought to you by T-Mobile, the official 5G sponsor of the SEC. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
The best is yet to come in College Station.
2 seconds left. 28-yard attempt by Seth Small. Is down. It is up. And the fight, Texas Aggies take down the top-ranked Tide, 41-38.
Join us Saturday. The Aggies host the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Our coverage begins at 10 a.m. on your home for Aggies football, the Texas A&M Sports Network.
Listen to Aggie football on The Zone, online at radioaggieland.com, or tell your smart speaker, play Zone 1150.
Hey friends, hour number 2, TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, 911 University Drive, East in College Station. You can pick up the David Yerman collection right there, a signature bracelet to add to her stack. Visit David Gardner's Jewelers or shop online at davidgardnersjewelers.com. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and we're reacting a little bit to Jimbo, thinking back at the Ole Miss game, and then looking ahead, Prairie View LSU still on the table for A&M and potentially a 10-win season. Let's break it all down with our good friend, Alan Waddell, the former coach here, joining us on TexAgs Radio on the BCSI hotline. Coach Weddell, how are you, sir?
Hey, David, doing well. A little disappointed still from Saturday, but the sun shined, and I'm not sure if it's the sun shining because it's a beautiful day in Aggieland, or in Aggieland they're happy because Kansas beat UT. So we'll see.
Yeah, and I forget that you did go to school there, but you got love both ways. Let's start things off with Jimbo. Your thoughts on how he handled yesterday's press conference, and do you believe his word when he says that he wants to be at A&M?
Yeah, he's staying. This is one of the best top 3-4 jobs in the country. Pays well, facilities are here, recruiting area, a great challenge. It's going to be a challenge anywhere. It's a better job than LSU. He's a professional. I mean, there's no doubt about that. He's got a better chance to win the whole thing at A&M than he does at LSU. It's a better culture. It's a better everything. And so he's here to stay. He's happy here. It's a great place. Once you get here, you understand what a great place it is with the traditions and the values, and it meets all his needs exactly. So that's the least of our worries, is whether Jimbo's going to stay or not. We got a lot more worries of why the players aren't playing up to the level of the coaches that Jimbo has and is.
I'll ask this and just get your take on it. People, to me, believe what they want to believe. And maybe even we do on this side, right? Like I hear Jimbo, I take his word for it. I see how sincere he sounds. There are others that kind of come up with their own narrative. Just your thoughts on how people just want to hear what they want to hear.
Oh, there's no doubt. That's the world we're in today. I mean, there is no newscast. There's just opinions, So Walter Cronkite keeps rolling over in his grave because no one's telling the news. They're just telling an opinion. And it's all slanted. That's happened since I was at A&M and talk radio, and you don't have to give your name or show a face. You say what you want to, and if people like it, they pick it up. They don't, they ignore it. So it's a culture we're in right now. It's not a good culture by any means, but it's a culture. People listen, but they don't hear.
All right, let's go back to Saturday night in Oxford, Ole Miss game, a game that had so many different storylines in it. A terrible first half, a great third quarter, beginning of fourth quarter, a chance to win, and then a couple of disastrous moments. Just take me back. What went wrong?
Gosh, that's the $64,000 question. In this conference, I thoroughly thought we were over the hump. Over the hump means you beat the Mississippi schools. We got to find out the reason why our 4 and 5 stars can't beat their 2 and 3 stars, type of deal. We out recruit them every year. We've got greater facilities. We've got greater fan base. We've got everything better. But those Mississippi schools seem to have our number too often, type stuff. We didn't play bad, but we didn't play well. And you got to play well in this conference all the time. And what the answer is, consistency, I don't know. We had everything online. An Alabama mess up anytime in the next month, and we're playing for a conference championship, which means you might be playing for the playoffs, which means you might be playing for a national championship. Everything on the line. And we just didn't play very well. I mean, we dropped passes, we missed reads, we missed blocks, the whole shooting match. And if you look at Mississippi's roster and you look at our roster when they were coming out of high school, you take our roster 110 times, and the same thing with our players now. We've got some great players here, but you got to show up on Saturday and play. And as Jimbo says, you got to. I think he's got a great saying. You play with that against that faceless person in the mirror. That's what it is. You go out every day. You don't care if you're playing Mississippi or Alabama or Prairie View. It's all the same. And until kids get that mental attitude, you have slip ups like Arkansas and Ole Miss and Mississippi State. So it's disappointing. Because if you look at this, the Southeast Conference West, which is the strongest conference in the USA, the Blue Dogs are the Alabamas, Auburns, LSUs, and A&Ms. And the bottom half is Mississippi State, and Arkansas, from facilities, from finances to players to everything. But they seem to get a lot out of those kids down there, and I give them all the credit to it.
Coach Weddell, let's focus a little bit on the defense. Obviously a very tough first half, much better second half. But one thing that I think plagued the team throughout the game was the tackling. Those running backs there for Ole Miss, they sure knew how to hide behind the line and burst out and get extra yardage even when the contact was made.
But there's no doubt their strength. They talk about the quarterback being an Iceman went potential and all that, but their running game's outstanding. We knew that going in. There was no doubt about that. The disappointing part was our defensive line is our strength of the football team too. And so they were able to make long drives, keep us on our offense on the bench, out of rhythm. Now, I think the defense did a good job. There were a lot of field goals in the game. And there's a saying in football, the only field goal that beats you is the last one. So by not giving up a lot of touchdowns, they kept us in the game. But they kept it. The problem was our offense was off the field. didn't get a lot of rhythm going, and they hit some chunks of plays. Their backs had good game, and we just either a concentration thing or something, but we did not tackle well, especially up front.
Coach Alan Waddell with us here on BCSI Hotline, breaking it all down. So what adjustments did you see with your eyes when A&M was able to change the script up there in the second half and really limit Ole Miss?
I think somebody said something in the dressing room at halftime that you probably can't put on air, and that probably lit the fire, and that's what it was take. I think it was more of a mental thing than anything else. There weren't a lot of adjustments necessary. We just had to play. I mean, Elko had a good game plan going in. We just didn't execute it. Second half, we executed. Is bottom line type thing. Same thing offensively. We started moving the ball, started catching some passes instead of dropping them. Calzado started having a little touch on the ball instead of throwing it so hard that no one can catch it type thing. It's just, unfortunately, those the 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter did us in. That was it.
Coach Weddell, I'm going to read you a question that showed up on our YouTube page from Jeep. He asked, what was the biggest difference between Isaiah and Devon on Saturday? And sometimes the way a defense approaches you, certain talents bode better than others. Is that maybe a fair way of assessing what happened Saturday night?
Yeah, each of the backs has their own strengths, and both of them have a lot of strengths. There's no doubt. Isaiah is one of those guys that's going to hit the line. He's got great vision. He's going to kind of dance a little bit, find the opening behind his lineman, and then make the big break. And he'll run over you. He's a powerful back. Okay, he's got so much speed and quickness. When he's got that first step move, when he sees that hole, he's gone. He's in the secondary and going. And with I think that I thought the weakness going into the game of Ole Miss was their defensive front. I thought that was their weakness. And so you get back, the person that gets past the defensive front first is going to have the better game. And number 6 did a better job of getting that than number 28. But both of them are very talented. You got to alternate those guys. The key to alternating 2 backs like that, it keeps them in the rhythm. But more than anything, and it maybe it showed in the fourth quarter some, both of them have fresh legs compared to the defense that's been chasing them all night long. So it's a great option that we've got. It's well used. I thought he did a good job rotating the backs. I read about why didn't so-and-so play more, so-and-so play less or whatever, but I thought he did a great job of substitution. It was more the execution, and we dug ourselves a hole in the first half. You know, it's hard to get out in the Southeast Conference.
Let's talk a little bit about the linebackers, something you know a lot about. How would you assess their play this year, the ups, the downs, and the growth?
They're getting better. Cooper, number 45, really having a great year. He's getting better with more reps and reps. He's been the big surprise with linebackers. White's still learning the game type stuff, but Hansford's the lead. He's a leader on the defense out there. He not only gets people lined up, but he makes plays when he needs to. So I've been pleased with them. They've gotten better as the defensive line has gotten better. Sometimes our pass defense has some room for improvement, but as far as the run game and all, we're playing Southeast Conference ball with those guys.
Talking to Coach Alan Waddell here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. All right, I'm going to ask you a similar question to the running back question, but how it affects Zach. What was Ole Miss doing other than stacking up the box and not allowing Isaiah to get the yardage that he wanted to get? And also, I know the line had a little bit of struggles early on in that game, but to make life difficult for Zach Calzada.
I think what they were doing is our receivers weren't really getting separation early. And so Zach's first read wasn't there. And if you watch Zach, he's still a work in progress. I feel watching him from a defensive standpoint, he stares at his receivers an awful lot, especially his first read, which means the defense knows it's coming that way or wants to. They're a lot tighter coverage. I think he throws when it's not there, he gets happy feet, and so he's kind of moving around and not really for confidence on his second read. And I think he's got a cannon of a gun. I mean, he can throw any NFL pass that needs to be thrown, but he has it. He needs to work on a little touch on it too. It's not that the receivers are dropping passes all of a sudden. I mean, why? The only change has been the quarterback. Before that in the spring with King, they weren't dropping passes. They weren't dropping them last year. So it's a progress he's got to get better at. He's got to have touch on the ball. He's got to have confidence in his second read, and he's got to be able to look off defenders better. That's just an observation I make watching it on TV and sitting in the stands. I'm not looking at the film. I'm not coaching quarterbacks. Daryl Dickey's a great quarterback coach. They'll have the answers, but that's kind of what I saw the other night.
What was your assessment of the interception, the first one, not the pick six, but Coach Fisher yesterday talked a little bit about the tie should have gone to the offensive player where Demas kind of skies up, the throw's high, and then the defender and he both land on the floor. And, Jimbo's perspective is that's our ball. It should be. And they ended up giving it to Ole Miss. What is old school football thoughts on that and what you saw?
I thought that it was at first intercepted, but that before the play was over, in other words, before he went down, that we had gained possession back again. I would have called it the tie goes to the receiver. That's what I would have called it. Watching it on TV and watching the replay and all that. I was surprised that it went that way. Like I said, it looked like an interception at first, and that's probably what they called it on. And maybe there wasn't enough replay to be able to overturn it. But when they hit the ground, I said it's A&M's ball still. And so I'm agreeing with Jimbo 100% on that.
The offensive line.
I'm an old coach. I don't agree with officials very often anyway, so I'm very prejudiced for Jimbo. It is his opinion of it over some people running around with stripes on them, white and black hats.
Coach Weddell, the offensive line struggled initially in that game, but does it go back to that halftime talk like, hey, guys, you need to man up here and bring it? What was different from a line perspective to where in the first half they were losing that battle on the line of scrimmage, and they certainly got better throughout?
No doubt. I tell you what, I think that Ole Miss's defensive line had been tired of listening to people saying they're the weak link of the team. I think the three-man front and the movement gave us some problems early. I haven't seen a lot of Ole Miss football, but they very easily with that type of a front could have given us some looks that we weren't ready for. It took a while to talk about and get used to. We're young up front still. We got two freshmen playing in there and a transfer that hadn't been with the program but for a few months. There's a lot of coaching on the run that has to be done during a football game, and I think a lot of that was happened the first half. I just think their movement gave us some problems. I'm not real sure. You can't tell on TV real well sometimes what kind of secondary coverages they were disguising and going to, which gave Zach some problems possibly. All right, our receivers some problems about finding the open areas. So they had a great game plan. I'll give them credit. They had a great game plan the first half. I think again we did a good job the second half. Take away those two turnovers, and it's 14-point difference in the game. We win, and we're all happy in Aggie Land still talking about national championships.
Hey, I know we're going to spend next week probably focusing, well, not probably, we're going to be focusing on LSU without a doubt, but we've got Prairie View this weekend, then LSU. What concerns you this final stretch of the season, and most importantly about LSU? What concerns you there?
Well, LSU is one of those teams that's, I don't know how many teams, 16 teams and 14 teams in the conference. They're probably playing. They're number 14 and playing up to their ability. They've got talent galore still. The cover's not dry. They won a national championship, one of the greatest teams ever, just a couple of years ago, and they recruit well too. So they've had some coaching turmoil, but they're capable of winning one for Ogeron in his last game. And when they play at LSU, that's crazy country down there. That's Death Valley. So you got to be ready for that one. There's no doubt. We got to take care of Prairie View. Got to stay healthy. We got to come out with Prairie View with confidence. I think that's the big one. I think a confidence factor. Prairie View's got some quickness. They've got some players with some quickness out there. They can be a thorn in your back for a little while before you put them away. And this is a big game for them. But we just got to come out healthy and with confidence and focus in. Aggies focus in on the contest at LSU. We will win the football game. It's a big win, no doubt.
All right, last thing for you. 10-win season has to be the goal this year because you're not going to play in the SEC championship game. You're probably not going to a New Year's Six Bowl, although there's still a scenario out there where you could. So how do you finish the season will certainly tell the biggest story. You agree with that? 10 wins has to be the absolute goal?
I think there's no doubt. That was 10-win season was the goal for the regular season going in. So now it's got to be, we got to reset the goal and be the goal for the entire season. It means so much going into recruiting. It means so much going into off season. Double-digit seasons are rare. Okay, that's those. There's not too many teams that do that. And so that's a big accomplishment. I know we're disappointed because of the 3 losses, especially who they were to, but you win 10 football games with that schedule. And I don't, you quickly forget the losses and say, hey, we're ready for next year. Let's get after it.
That is Alan Waddell here on the BCSI Hotline. Coach, we appreciate your time, sir. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Dave. Take care.
Take care, my friend. Always a pleasure to speak with Coach Weddell. Breaks it down, gives us great thoughts and insight there. Right now, we're going to talk about Chance McClain, Heritage Films, yourheritagefilm.com. He's my dear friend. And, I do business with people I trust. I do business with people that I know are going to go above and beyond, and that's what Chance does. And everybody who has called him, I know a lot of you TexAgs subscribers and listeners have called him, and you're like, yeah, we got to get in. And he can do a documentary film about you, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your grandfather, whoever, right? And tell that story and do it like an A&E documentary, like a Netflix documentary, the kind of video you put on for the family when they come home, Christmas break, let's say, and you're like, what? How did Steven Spielberg do this? James Cameron, right? I don't know. I'm just naming people. Christopher Nolan. Like, the chances all that kind of mixed into like a Marvel / Star Wars / sports fan. That's what he is. And he does such a wonderful job doing it. His daughter Gunn goes to school here, so he has kind of adopted A&M as his program, as his team. He just loves our history, and he wants to tell your story out there. So call him up or visit the website, yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com. The number to Chance and Heritage Films, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341.
Your home for the Houston Texans is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is The Zone.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field. And now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at EnergyOgre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
Don't want to cook for Thanksgiving this year? Call Cooper's at 979-485-5BBQ. You can order group meals for the entire family, including smoked turkey breast, bacon green beans, and garlic mashed potatoes. Just don't forget the pecan cobbler and bluebell ice cream.
Experience the taste of locally Aggie-owned, nationally recognized Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue. Voted best barbecue in the Brazos Valley and proud supporter of Texas A&M athletics.
Hello, this is Discover, and we take customer service very seriously. We know that if you have a question or concern about your credit card, that's a serious matter, and you need to talk to a real person about it. So we offer around-the-clock access to seriously talented representatives in the USA. Again, it's a serious endeavor. The only funny thing about it is Bob. If you call us and Bob answers, you're in for a treat. Get 100% U.S.-based customer service and talk to a real person day or night. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. MS attacks the brain and spinal cord. It's the most common neurological disease leading to disability in young adults. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Join us. Together we are stronger. Walk MS fundraising accelerates research breakthroughs and life-changing breakthroughs. It will take all of our passion, determination, and fundraising to end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Join us. Register today, start a team, and raise funds at walkms.org.
Aggie football game day on the Zone starts 3 hours before kickoff with the Twin Peaks pregame show powered by TexAgs.com. Game day on the Zone is brought to you in part by Higginbotham Insurance, Stephen Gustitis, attorney at law, Tradition, Mobile One Oil and Lube, and Gage Gandy Bail Bonds. After you listen to the Twin Peaks pregame show powered by TexAgs.com, listen to every single Aggie football game right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
I would say just adjusting to the high tempo, just being able to actually do our assignments and fit the right gaps. I feel like those were definitely two differences between the first and the second half.
When we think about some of the issues A&M's defense has had this year, running quarterbacks early on, the high tempo was certainly one of them this past weekend. It was an adjustment. There's no doubt about that. A&M was able to figure things out as the game went on, but it was an adjustment. You're listening to TexAgs Radio, presented by David Garner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Look, that was tough. That first half, those numbers, that's not what we expect from an A&M team. As we mentioned, it was reminiscent to some of the Mississippi State game and the Arkansas game, and the reason we're looking back at it is that just, if there's a issue with that defense, it struggled. But then again, it goes hand in hand with the way the defense and the offense work together, right? So as the offense started completing plays, the defense was able to adjust and get their mojo back. Like when the defense is constantly on the field, it can present a problem. And it was a game of adjustments. And that first drive, they limit them to 3, and then, of course, the touchdown right after that. But it is something that is going to have to be long-term addressed, although I don't know how much of a problem that'll be this year. But it's something that they definitely have to get better at. But I noticed it. And I think we all did. Like, you look at this defense, which was considered second to Georgia, and it still may very well be. And then you think about how many points they gave up, right? Defense, even though it felt like they were getting slaughtered there in the first half, from a yards perspective, sure. But, they gave up 13 points. You could say the 15 because they did move the ball all the way there, but they stopped them on the 4 plays. And regardless, it was a big swing in the game. They have to clean that up. As for where it goes this season, Prairie View game, I'm going to chalk it up to a W. LSU, worried about that game, concerned about that game just because it is Ed O's last game. Bowl contention will be on the line, and they have athletes and a tough defense. So for all those reasons, I do wonder. I don't think their offense is going to be able to obviously do what Ole Miss was able to do, but I wonder about that game. And then potentially playing a Big Ten team in a bowl game, I like our chances there. We are kind of like a Big Ten throwback team. And we've got the backs, we've got the defense, we've got the line. So there's a lot of reasons that point our way. But at the end of the day, the defense was able to massage, or that's not even the right word, but they were able to figure out some of their weaknesses like we've seen in prior games. We saw them figure it out for the most part against Arkansas. We saw them figure it out because remember, Colorado did move the ball initially. Initially, they were moving the ball. They were able to figure that all out. So here we are, PV, LSU, and hopefully a New Year's Day Bowl. And so much is right in front of you. So we're going to continue talking about it. We're going to get John Lopez's perspective from Sports Radio 610 in Houston, get his thoughts on what happened this past week. And he's an Aggie great as well. Aggie great like in the journalism world, not in the athletic world, although he thinks he can play hoops. We'll talk with J-Lo, and we'll break it all down here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Garner's Jewelers.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The College Station Noon Lions Christmas tree sale begins on Black Friday. The tree lot is located at the corner of Texas Avenue and West King Cole Street. Proceeds benefit many Lions charities and projects. Aggies Can is collecting donations for its 21st annual food drive, benefiting the Brazos Valley Food Bank and the 12th Can Food Pantry. Visit 12thman.com/AggiesCan. All decked out in fall-themed decorations, the Gardens at Texas A&M welcomes visitors to its fall festival throughout the month of November. Follow the Gardens on social media for more information. After a year like no other, you can be part of a new beginning for girls when you volunteer with Girl Scouts. Learn more at gsctx.org/volunteer. It's Lunch with Louie this Friday at the T-Mobile on Texas Avenue and Lincoln. Catch the Louie Bellina Show live, spin the wheel, and win great prizes, and enjoy a free lunch from Howdy's Pizza. Stop by the T-Mobile on Texas and Lincoln this Friday from 11 to 2. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on the Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
You can hear the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Presented by Polaris Fun Center. Paul Feinbaum is SEC Country, and Aggieland is SEC Country too. Join Paul weekdays 2 to 4 here on the Zone. Polaris Fun Center sells and service Polaris ATVs, Rangers, Razors, Global Electric Cars, and the Polaris Slingshot. Polaris Fun Center.